Hey folks, if you're going to get into a trade, you need to have a trading plan, and there's three critical price points that you must know if you're going to have a successful trading plan. We're going to talk about them in this video, so let's go. Hello everybody. It's Jeremy Whaley here from Trade Maestro. I hope you're doing fantastic today. You can check us out over at trademaestro.com. And of course, like and subscribe here to the channel or this profile, wherever it is that you're watching this video. In this video, what I want to do is I want to share with you the three critical things you need for a successful trading plan. And by three critical things, I specifically mean the three critical price points that you must have. Okay, so before we get there, let's talk about what happens as you're setting the trade up. So you're going to set the trade up. The first thing you got to do is you got to do your analysis. Okay. So I'm presuming you've already done this. So you're going to do your trade analysis. You can determine the direction of the trade with your analysis. You'll figure out if it's a trade that you actually want to take. You're going to figure out the price that you're going to enter. And then you're going to figure out where you think the trade is going to go. So how much profit you think you can make with this trade. And then you're going to figure out, as part of the analysis, what price the trade is no longer good. Now, when we say no longer good, that means it's no longer an active trade. You're going to stop out of the trade, or you're going to set an alert and get out. However you choose to execute it, that's up to you. But the idea here is that once we hit this price point, we're out. We're not going to keep following this trade. We're done. That's all going to be determined in the analysis process of your trade setup. Okay. So once we've done that, now let's execute, or let's write out the trading plan. And here's what you got to know. If you're going to be successful as a trader, you got to learn how to write a trading plan and stick to the plan. So you come up with the plan and you say, you know what, when the trade goes here, I'm going to get into the trade. And then if it gets up to this price point, then I'm going to get out of the trade. I'm going to take my profit. If it goes down to this price point, I'm going to get out of the trade. And then you got to be willing to stick with it. You don't want to be adjusting that mid plan. You got to be willing to stick with it and see it through so that you know if your plans are actually working. Okay. So with that as kind of the setup here is the plan. Number one, you got to know your entry price. That is the price that you're going to get into the trade. You got to know your target. That's the price you're going to exit for your profit. And you might have multiple targets. That's okay as well. You can have 2 or 3 different targets. You can have scaling. That could be part of your plan, but you got to know where you're going to be taking your profits off of the trade here. And then number 3, where do you get out? What's your stop price? This is the price where you get out if the trade goes against you. Now, with these 3 pieces of information, you have what you need to write your trading plan. Okay. And in fact, that is the trading plan. So let me set it up for you on a chart here. This is on a trade on Micron. I'm not saying anybody needs to do this trade, but it is a trade setup here. So notice how we've set this up. We're bouncing up off of support. We're breaking through resistance. And our next target's going to be up here around this dotted line. You can see I've already drawn in here a green box and a red box. And the line, the little white line that you see, that's our expected move that we're going to see. The white line is going to be our entry price, and that price comes in at 58.64. So basically, when this trade moves above 58.64, we will take the trade up to the target, and that target price comes in at 64.85. Now notice I'm not doing this based on how much money I want to make. I'm setting the entry and I'm setting the target based on what the chart tells me I need to do. Okay. And then finally, where do we get out of the trade? Well, we're going to get out of the trade if the stock turns, if we enter the trade and then it turns around, drops through support, keeps going. Well, it's probably time to get out of that trade. And so we put our stop in here, and that comes in around 55.90. Now, with these 3 pieces of information, you have the critical pieces of information you need. That is a complete trade setup right there. Now, you could go in depth. You could do a whole lot more. You could say, well, when I go this far, I'm going to take this amount of profit. When I go this far, I'm going to make this amount of profit. You could do all those kind of more advanced things if you want to, but this is the essence of a trading plan. And with these 3 prices, you've got everything that you need. Now, let me go a little bit further here. I want to break down a couple of the terms that we're working with. And the first one is the risk. So if you haven't seen my video on risk and reward, risk is the amount of money that you're actually willing to risk on a trade. This is very different than your capital. Capital is the amount of money it takes to get into the trade. Risk is the amount of money that you're willing to risk on the trade. And the formula for that is the difference in your entry price and your exit price. Your entry price and your exit price equals your risk. Okay. So that's how you determine your risk on the trade. Now, the next number is your reward. And your reward is going to be the amount of money that you're expecting to make on the trade. That's what you're expecting to make on it, okay? The formula is your target price minus your entry price. Target price minus your entry price, that equals your reward or what you're expecting to make on the trade. So now let's bring that back over to our chart, and you'll see if we took the trade at 58.64 and our target is 64.85, our reward would be the difference of 64.85 and 58.64 of $6.21 per share. That would be your reward on this trade. And your risk is going to be the difference in your entry and your stop, which is 58.64 minus 55.90. So that would be $2.74 per share. That would be your risk. Now, if you did a little bit of math on that, you realize the ratio for that is $2.21 per share for every $1 you're putting at risk. So if you took, or if you had a chance to watch my video on risk and reward, you realize that fits right within the spectrum of what we're looking for. Okay, so here's what I want you to understand about setting up a trade like this. If you plan to fail, you're planning, I said that backwards. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. It's really important that you have these three pieces of information. And of all the people that I've worked with over the years, one of the things that I find consistently, people will get into good trades. They just never get out. They don't know when to get out for a profit. They don't know when to get out for a loss. They don't know how to manage the trade. That's one of the biggest reasons that people lose money trading. They simply don't know how to manage the trade. This is your trading plan. I also run into a lot of people that I work with who they know this information and they just don't use it. They know where their target should be. They just don't honor the target. They know where their stop should be. They just don't honor the stop. Well, guess what? If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. If you don't follow your plan, you're planning to fail. Okay. So recap really quickly here. Here is the plan. Number one, entry. That's the price that you enter the trade. Your target. That's the price you plan to exit the trade. And finally, your stop. That's the price that you're going to get out if the trade goes against you. All right. Hey, listen, folks, I have a couple of gifts that I want to share with you. I have a new 3-day challenge that I'm just releasing, and I'd like to invite you to join me for that. It's absolutely free. It's called Trade for a Living. And what I'm going to do in this challenge is I'm going to go a little bit more in depth over a couple of different sessions, actually 3 different sessions, and I'm going to teach you some of the techniques that's required to be a successful trader. So this is the Trade for a Living 3-day challenge, absolutely free. All you need to do is enroll for it, and there's going to be a link below somewhere here that you can click on, and you can get over there and enroll for it. And when you do that, I'm also going to send you this trade execution checklist. And this is something that I give it out to my students whenever I teach them the process. And I'm making that available to you as well. It's just simply the steps. Step 1 is pick the stock. Step 2 is the analysis process. Step 3 is choosing the strategy. And then 4 is the management piece of it. And I've kind of got everything written out there in the checklist. So I'm going to share that with you. And even if you never come to the 3-day challenge, I'm still going to send you the checklist immediately. So you can go look at that and kind of walk through that. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you got some great stuff out of this. If you haven't done so already, like and subscribe to the channel so you can get alerts and notifications and everything whenever we post new stuff. And again, thanks for watching. Until next time, happy trading, and we'll talk to you soon.